Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this first session in here for our Astronomy 120. This is the early class start. So because I have two sessions, I have to be careful in here because I'm going to be posting these recordings on Canvas. Actually, they will be posted first to YouTube, then to Canvas. So we need to be clear exactly of what we're doing in here, okay? So the semester started last week. This is already 1 week in. Actually, tomorrow is going to be actually 1 week in. So we're still within the first week. We already have a few assignments. So we're going to talk a little bit about the course, how things flow, and what is expected, and how we're going to be doing things in here in this class. Some of you are already sitting in my Astronomy 125. And again, there are two sections in that. One of them has already started last week, and we met on Tuesday. There is another section that is going to be held on Thursday, and that is going to start sometime in February. I don't remember the exact date, whether February 8th or February 13th. I guess it's on Canvas already, and it's actually on WebAdvisor. So please, if you are sitting in the other Astronomy 125, which is the lab version of this class, make sure you follow the time when that class starts, and you also do the assignments and so on and so forth. Okay. So again, this is for Astronomy 120, section 70, which is the online class that we have here on Canvas. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the format and a little bit about the book and some stuff that I already shared with some of you who are sitting in Astronomy 125. Also, we're going to discuss them in this class. Let me go into, let me move this window to this screen. Bring you guys in here. Again, my name is Bouzidi Jamoui. My students in all of my classes, actually, they call me DJ, that's fine. And I have a PhD in physics, really. And I teach mainly astronomy here in Valley College. I have four sections, basically, two different classes with two different sections each, for totaling four classes, basically, of astronomy. And I also teach physics. I have two physics classes in addition to your astronomy classes. I have Physics 202, which is the first sequence of the calc-based course. And I have also Physics 204 this semester, which is the last section of the calc-based course also in physics. So with the exception of these two physics classes, all of my load is actually on astronomy. So that's basically what I do mainly here on campus. My office is here. This is actually where I am at right now. I'm on campus. My office is room 195. And it's kind of tricky to come to it, honestly, because of the fact that if you guys are familiar with the physical science building, it has two sections. It has a long section and it has a new extension that was added to it. I am in the new extension in the first floor. When you look for room 195, you're not going to see it outside. So if you keep on walking back and forth, you're not going to find room 195. You will see 194-196. That's where my office is. So usually that door is closed, not because of my choice, it's because of other faculty who are in this room, and it closes automatically within the last person who's leaving. So if you're coming on a time when I'm not here and the other faculties are not here, you're not going to be able to find my office. So you have to really let me know ahead of time that you're coming so that I expect you, and make sure the outdoor is open, because that's actually the outside door, in addition to my office, which has also another place too. That's why it's kind of weird to get into it. And you are required actually to send me a message ahead of time saying that you're coming for an office visit. And that would be fine. I mean, I should be here. We should not have a problem. If you're coming during an off time, where none of the other two faculty are here, because we're three of us in this area, you're not going to find even the outside door open. So it's really going to be an inconvenience. So it's going to be hard for you to leave me a message on the office. So that's basically what the story with the office is. In addition to having office hours here in my office, I also have office hours online. So you can also arrange for a meeting to be done online, and I have no problem with that. And we can basically meet on the scheduled time that is on Wednesday. if you looked at the syllabus, you already saw that I already have allocated time for the office hours. But those are not the only hours that you have options for you. We can still meet in other times. So, for example, and I know some of you are already attending the high school next door. So, if in case none of those daytimes work for you, or even weekdays don't work for you, then you can message me and we can meet on a Friday or even Saturday or Sunday, whatever works for you, as long as we find a convenient time for us to meet. Okay. The best way for me to communicate with you guys is through Canvas, and I'm going to show you how you do that. And unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to change to share the screen with you guys and move to the screen, basically to show you Canvas. Any questions? By the way, this session is recorded. A lot of you are not here. I know that because this class has about 40 students and I can see only we have about 10. So attendance is not required to be on the live sessions, and we'll have some during the semester. But you are required nonetheless to watch the recordings later on. If you're not here, obviously, if you are here, you're not to be required to watch it. But that's the point in here. The link will be posted on this week's videos in the bottom, and I'm going to show you where it's going to go. And that's basically in a nutshell. So I know that one of you guys responded. So let me go into the share. If I can find where the share is, the share. And I don't want the screen too. I'm going to go to this thing in here. And I want one of you at least to confirm that you guys are looking at where it says Astronomy 120-70 modules. Okay, thank you very much, Alexander. Anyway, so basically, what we're looking at is in here, the modules course. So if I go back to the homepage, let me switch to a student view so that I would see it from you guys' perspective, okay? So if I go to the home page, this is what happened when you come to the course. You're going to see this page. It has some information in here. There's some stuff to do and things like that. So please go through it. A lot of this information in here is actually part of the syllabus. So make sure that you're familiar with the syllabus. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Now, again, any announcements, they will go here. Like, for example, some of you have responded today by attending this announcements, this meetings today. Any modules, they're in here, and we're going to go through them. The syllabus, of course, is the link in here. The grades, if I click on it, it's not going to work because I'm a test student. Test student doesn't have grades, and some other resources for you guys. So let me go back into the home page. If I come back to the home page, there is this item in here, which is open discussion. This is for you guys to send any kind of message to anybody, not necessarily me. Hopefully that one of you guys will respond to it. So keep this basically, try to keep it basically as rich as possible. And if you have a general question, nobody is responding to it, or you send me a message and I didn't respond in time. So please do ask in here, and actually you are strongly encouraged to do that. That's part of the community that we're trying to develop in here of working together, okay? The syllabus link is here. This is actually the PDF version of the syllabus that you guys have received also from me as an email and an attachment. And this is mainly what you will be doing when you come to this class. After we clear out all of these things, this is mainly where you're going to be going. You're going to go to the models of the course. This is where all of the action is happening for this class. This is an online class. It's an async course. That means that you're going to be going at your own pace. Mind you, that there are some deadlines that you have to observe. The deadline is kind of extended compared to an in-person class where the deadlines usually are much, much shorter. But in here, you have a little bit longer time to complete your assignment. So please do that, okay? Some of you have already received messages from me on Sunday morning, actually around 6 a.m. It was kind of too early. But I want to make sure that you guys are doing your work. I know I went through Canvas. I saw some of your activity is not what it should be. So I sent messages to those people that you're supposed to sign in and do your work. So if you do that, this is what I meant. So you come in here and you go through item by item in week 1, which is ending this today basically. And next week, which already has started as of yesterday. And right now, if you look at student, you only see this week 10, which is sometime in the future, which is where spring break is. This is not what the courses looks like actually from my vantage point as an instructor. I have other weeks all the way lined up all the way to the end of the semester, and I'm going to open them after I make all of the adjustments that are needed in that, okay? So every week we'll have objectives, basically, of what we need to be doing on that week, okay? This week's objective, the first week's objective, of course, there is this 2 discussion items, and one they are supposed to be due, okay? And also some other readings, assignments, and so on and so forth. So every week we'll have that. So let me go back into where I came from. So make sure every week at least to check those objectives. Week 2 will have different objectives than week 1. And because we have stuff from the previous week that is due, in addition to that, new things also pop up, okay? So keep tab of the things that expire, they will already go. So the things that were due and past the due date, they're already done. So please make sure you have done them already, and new things will pop up. So there is always work to be done and stuff to be done and readings also to be done. Okay, which brings me to another point I didn't mention in the intro, and that is Brightwave. You should have access to Brightwave. You go and log in there, and you should see the textbook for this class listed for you guys. If you're already enrolled in this class, you should see the textbooks and the textbook in there. You must do those readings. I mean, they're kind of short readings. This is actually the nice thing about this book. You don't have long chapters where you get bored and then you lose track of where you are and it becomes too much. So it's divided into units. I think like several pages, like 9 pages or something like that. Even if you're distracted in between them, you only still have 3 pages to go or 2 pages to go. So it's manageable, okay? Unit by unit, you complete this units. Obviously, week 1, you have 2 units. Week 2, you have 3 units, and the number varies. Actually, sometimes it can go as much as 5, depending on the topic of being discussed and depending the extent of each unit, so the number of units can extend. So expect yourself to do this much reading, about 15 to 20 pages a week, okay? That's part of the coursework because, again, it's an online course, so make sure you're doing those things. There are no lectures in here. I know there are some videos, and I'm going to talk about that, where we recorded this class in the past. So those should serve as guidelines. They are not actually in lieu of your reading. So your reading is still a must. So this is previous session from way back, okay? This is fall 2022, fall of 2022. The topics are the same. The textbook is the same. And hopefully you guys can go through that. Those are sometimes very long videos, okay? And because they go through the entire topic. But when you do that, it's like as if you're in a classroom environment. Again, make sure you also do the reading. Don't rely on those just recordings and say that you have your lecture done. Okay, so again, those are the recordings. So we're in the bottom of every week, you will see this sessions in the bottom. Okay. And one of the sessions is today's session. You will see that there is an empty space for it, okay? The first one is empty. There is nothing in it. And the first 2, of course, are from previous recordings, fall of 22, both of them. And this one is going to be today's session. So when we're done, grab the recording and come in here and post it for you guys in here for those who are not here. And for those even who are here, to come back to it if in case they have something that is not clear or something like that. So we're going to have throughout the semester some sessions that we're going to have live. And those sessions are going to be posted in those specific weeks toward the bottom of every week, where we're going to go and post these recordings once they become available. At this point, we don't have anything because the session is still an ongoing session, okay? Each week, as I was saying, we'll have discussion items that are graded. Every assignment is graded with points in here that you can clearly see. And this quiz is an online quiz that you're going to take with Canvas. I cannot click on it because right now I'm a test student. I mean, I can, but it's not, I think it's going to send me to some nonsense link. But for you guys, you should be able to take that assignment. Now, this is an assignment that was for you guys. I know a lot of you have submitted, but there's still far more that did not, okay? And I already graded those who already submitted their completed assignment because you had two parts to it, okay? And I know two of you have already did their intro, basically, which is introducing themselves to the class and even choosing a topic from that list of 17 items or 18 items. I don't remember the exact number, but they already chose a topic and basically issued a rebuttal against those nonsense arguments in there. And but they are still supposed to reply to one of their peers. So those I did not grade them, but those who responded to who did the complete assignment, at least the two parts plus, some of you guys went even beyond that and interacted with more, which is highly encouraged, which is actually very good to do. You should have received the mark for your assignment. This is usually, it's kind of an easy assignment, so I'm hoping that you guys take advantage of it. Those who did not, the due date is actually due the 26th. Today is the 20th, 22nd. So it's really, time is running 22nd. So we still have 4 days. Okay, so toward the end of this week, you guys should have completed this assignment. Okay, so this is that one. In addition to that, obviously, there is this discussion item, which is the day after. It's due the 27th. What is the 26th and 27th? I lost track of time. 26th is this Friday, 27th is Saturday. Okay, so make sure that you guys complete this one by Friday night, and this one by Saturday night. Okay. Obviously, you will have discussions on a regular basis. This one is due February 2nd. Usually there is, as I said, an extended period of time. It opened up today or yesterday, actually, when I opened it this week. So you have from yesterday until next weekend. So you have about 2 weeks basically to complete this assignment. It has readings. It has all the things that you're supposed to do when you come in here and you answer those questions, and you get your participation grade for that one. Now, every week also has a content, okay, which is kind of a summary basically of what those topics are discussed in that week. So if you come in here, there are stuff in here that you guys need to basically, it's not the entire lecture, but at least some pointers in there, so that hopefully you guys can guide you through your materials. Again, you have the book to read, and you have this content hopefully to help you with the reading, and also you have the let me go back in here. You have the PowerPoints also, which are in here. Okay, so you have PowerPoints, you have the summary, which is in here, you have the PowerPoints, you have the book, and you have those videos. So I think we have covered all the bases in terms of the content. So I think you should have plenty of materials to make sure you go through everything and everything looks good. Okay, somebody posted something on the chat. Which assignment, Aaron? The first one, is Earth flat? Because I know I graded it, so unless it's another assignment, I don't know. The first one. Are you talking about the is Earth flat? Okay, there is something in here that you may have encountered, and I'm glad that you asked this question, okay? If I try to do this, let me see if it opens for me, okay? It opens for me. So you have to click on the link in the bottom. You have to click on this link in here, because I know some of you did already do that, so I know it's working for everybody else. Unless you have a specific problem with it, Rand, please let me know, okay? Then we can sit in a private session basically on a one-to-one basis and see, is that what you're talking about, or is it something else, first of all? I'm not seeing a reply from you. Anyway, so please reach out. Okay, make sure you click that link, okay? When you click it, it's going to open a new page. So if you don't have the pop-ups opening, that is because it's not. So if you're running into this problem, I would be more than happy to sit one-on-one with you and see exactly what went wrong, okay? Because I know a lot of you did actually do it, so I know it's working. So it's not a problem from Canvas, so it must be from your end at this point. So please reach out to me after the session so that we can resolve this issue. If you still have it, if you don't have it, it's fine, okay? So anyway, there was actually another assignment in here. Oops, what happened in here? What did I do? Okay. I don't know what happened. So let me go back into this thing in here. Yeah, there is in here, there is a check mark that you guys are supposed to do on this one. After you read the rules, make sure you mark it as done, because there are some assignments which you're just basically, you do them, and others where you're going to click and it takes you outside, like the assignment, for example, is the Earth flat. So there is only the instructions in there, and then you have to click that link to take you to the actual assignment. And there are some assignments that use the book, and so on and so forth, okay? So at this point, that's basically where we are in terms of the lecture. Any other question other than the issue that Ren basically had a problem with? But then we're going to, hopefully he will proceed, or I don't know if, please correct my pronouns if I'm mistaken. If Ren is basically fixes it, if not, then please let me know so that we can fix that, okay? That is one thing, okay? Sounds good? Okay, very good, thank you. So again, hopefully the problem is fixed. If not, then we can sit down and work it out. I know that other people did not have a problem because, as I was saying, this was, I graded a lot of them last night, okay? Quizzes, basically they are typical quizzes. Once you open a quiz, you're going to go through it. They are timed, the quizzes. So, and usually you have more than one attempt, not always. And that's basically what it is. Now, you might be wondering, and that's actually part of the syllabus. Let me go back into the syllabus, open the syllabus page again. Why it's not loading? Anyway, so let me go back into home and open the PDF file. Open it. And let me stop sharing. I don't know if you guys see the syllabus or not, but let me stop sharing. Let me make sure I'm sharing the correct page. Okay, this is again the syllabus. If you guys make sure that at least one person respond that you guys can access, can see it from your end. Yes, no? Okay. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay, so basically what we have in here, if you notice that, because a lot of people usually ask questions about that, this is basically the exams that we have. We have 3 midterms. We have homework and quizzes that amount to about 30%. And we have a projects that amount to about 10%. And we have the participant. Remember that thing about the discussion items and is the Earth flat? Those are part of participation, basically, that you're engaging in the class and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing by completing those assignments. So those are all go toward your participation. Quizzes, you already are going to see one this week, and there will be more down the road. You will have homework assignments also in this class. The projects, one, you will have basically 2 projects, but you're going to only be required to submit one of them, okay? One of the projects is going to be dealing with the lunar observations, so you're going to receive further instructions on that, and we'll be having more sessions dedicated to that. We're going to basically monitor the moon and do all kinds of activities related to it for a whole 4-week period. And then, of course, you have midterms. Before every midterm, you will have a review. and the review also is graded, and that grade is going to go also toward your participation as far as the review is concerned. But as far as the actual exam is going to go into a separate classifications where this is basically how much it totals out of your overall grade. So midterms are important, and hopefully you guys will take care of them and do the reviews beforehand. So this is in terms of how you're going to be assessed in this class, okay? There will be an event on April 8th, 2024, which is what we are right now in toward the end of January. So we still have February, March, then there will be the March break, the spring break. And then after that, there will be a lunar eclipse. A solar eclipse on April 28th. There will be a lunar eclipse in March, but that's going to be at night. So we're not going to be getting together on that. But as far as the April 8th, which is going to be a Monday in the morning, so hopefully you guys can manage to get on campus. You'll be receiving goggles, and we'll have more discussion on that for the for observation of the sun during the solar eclipse for on April 8th. So this is in terms of overall assignments. Again, you're going to have an assignment for that, but you're not going to be submitting both of them. Only one of the assignments is required, so you don't have to do both, okay, one or the other. So that is basically, in terms of my syllabus, are the office hours. As I was saying, Wednesday from 3:30 to 5 p.m., that is going to be an online session. And the others are going to be in here on campus. And with the exception of, but you have to let me know ahead of time in either case that you want to meet. If none of these times work for you, please let me know so that we can also meet in outside of those times. I know during homework assignments and things like that and exams, people become nervous and they will have all kinds of questions. Please try to have the questions beforehand so that we can have everything ready before we get in there. If not, I'll be more than happy to meet with you. This is my office number. If you call in there, I'm going to receive the message. So you can leave me a message in here if you want to. So let me stop sharing and go back to where I was, because there is make sure that I have everything in here discussed. So let me share the screen. Share. Are we back onto Astronomy 120-70? Everybody?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Duana. Thank you, Madison. Anyway, so I said earlier, the best way to communicate with me is through the inbox. Right now, I can't click it. I'm still as a test student. It's going to give me some nonsense stuff. So if I click it, it's most likely access denied because this is a test student. So it's not going to be accessible. Okay. But for you guys, that's where you go and you send me a message. Please do. That's really the best way of getting a hold of me, because then I know exactly what class you're coming from. Because if you send me an email or send me a text message or you leave me a message saying that it's John and I have a problem with the homework assignment, I couldn't complete it in time, then as I mentioned before, I already have 6 sections, and maybe there are probably 10 Johns. I mean, at least in one class, I know there are 2 classes that are 2 Johns. So imagine how many of them. It's going to be a nightmare trying to locate you. So it's much easier. Okay, it's much easier for you guys to communicate with me through the inbox. Okay? And even then, please try to be specific, okay? That when you're referring to a homework assignment, try to specify the homework assignment, because sometimes they will be together, and also a specific problem if you're running into, so that maybe I can get back with you as simple as, for example, hey, you forgot to do a conversion or you forgot to multiply by something, okay? So that's as simple as that, instead of having to waste your time on and looking for an appointment and trying to drive all the way here to campus for the end to receive that answer. So again, this is the best way to reach me is through the inbox. Send me a message. It's going to pop up to me as an email, actually, but I will know exactly which class you're coming from. I will know exactly what the question is. It warrants faster reply, because I already have a lot of information about what you're asking and which class you're coming from. okay? So this is something that I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of. Sounds good? This is no different than, yes, thank you. This is basically no different than basically any other online classes, and this concept has been around for a little bit of time now. I know in 2020 when COVID hit, a lot of panic was going around and people didn't know what to do. Now I think a lot of people know exactly what to expect and how to do things, okay? So let me stop sharing and let me share with you another program. Let me load it first. I know I mentioned it in the course syllabus, okay? And it's Stellarium. For those who attended the live session on in the lab, okay, because there is a, I know I'm addressing only a handful of you guys, not everybody is enrolled in the lab. But those who did do the lab with us on last week, we were blessed with something. Let me first of all minimize this window because it's kind of on the way, actually. Zoom. Can you move this to the other screen? Yes, I can. Why did it do that? I think there is an update that I don't like. Let me check again. So what happened on last Tuesday is I introduced briefly Stellarium in the class, but then when we went out, we were able to see the object, the stuff that we were talking about. So I guess I have no choice but to use this version here. They changed the background in here a little bit, okay? So let me share Stellarium. Okay, again, this is Stellarium. This is the software that I mentioned in the syllabus, and I mentioned also in the on the whether in the syllabus or whether on Canvas. The new update has removed the background picture. There was a background picture in here that was in there, and they removed it. Since I don't like it anyway, I'm going to remove it completely. So this is how, without that background, this looks like, okay? So the menu for this program is in the bottom. So at some point you might be asked to do it. So there are some projects that usually involve it. So I'm going to assign another project using Stellarium. But again, you're only required to submit only one project. That's going to be graded. So you're welcome to do all of the 3 projects if you want to. But at the end of the day, only one of them is going to be graded. So you're welcome to do all of them, but that's only one of them is going to be graded. Anyway, so if you come up with the older version, it had a different background in here, if I can get it back. But I don't like the background anyway. So this is how you toggle between with and without background, also to remove the effects of the sun, because this is the atmosphere, actually. The reason why the day appears bright when you look in any direction is because of the atmosphere. So if you remove the atmosphere, and if you don't look away from the sun, this is how the night would look like, actually. This is how the sky would look like anytime, whether day or night. This is what happens if you go on the moon. If you're looking away from the sun, you're going to see stars, okay, even during daytime. Okay? I mean, a little bit of the reflection from the surface of the moon will also cause the stars to fade, but not as much as with the atmosphere like we have it in here on Earth. So with the atmosphere, this is how things look. The light from the sun is diffused. Anyway, the point being in here is that, again, we introduced some of the concept, but we went outside, and you're welcome to go outside tonight, okay, and look at the sky and identify these objects that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to put back the atmosphere just to give me a reference of where the horizon is, okay? So this is looking south. This is looking toward the riverside. If you are here on campus and here near in San Bernardino, okay? And if I look north to where the mountains are, this is basically how the sky would look like. So this is where Polaris should be. This is where the northern star is. So let me advance time, because right now the time on the clock, let me get the clock. The clock right now shows that it's 10:35 in the morning. So let me make it at night, okay? So this uses military time. So if I put 22, this is basically where the night is. If I look at due north from where we are right now, about 34 degrees. When you raise your hand, when your hand is flat, that's 0 degrees. When your hair is up above your head, that is your zenith, actually. Zenith is the top of your head. That is 90 degrees. Somewhere in between them is 45 degrees. Slightly less than that is about 34 degrees, okay? So if you look up in the horizon about 34 degrees, that is where the northern star is. That's where Polaris is. So try it tonight when you go out without the aid of this device or this tool, you should be able to find Polaris. Granted, Polaris is not a bright star, okay? And it's part of a constellation, which I can turn on the constellations in here, which is a shape in the sky that you can see. What is a constellation? Here. Okay, with a name also too, okay? Come on. And also the line for it. So it's part of Ursa Minor, and it's the extent. So these two stars are going to be a little bit visible, and it's going to extend around it. Anything and everything in the sky appears to be spinning around it. So if you wait for an hour, the entire sky will shift by 15 degrees, with the exception of Polaris, okay? So again, if I change the clock, where is the clock? Did I remove it already? So let me change it by an hour. Let's make it 11 p.m., which is 23. So everything shifts, Polaris stays in its place. Okay, let's make it midnight, which is 00. Okay, everything shifts. Obviously, I need to change the day also. Okay. And if I go around this, so we can make it actually here. We can make the time go faster, and you should see everything spin in the sky. And that is because of the Earth motion. Okay. The Earth spins around its axis. Everything in the sky revolves around it. One of the nice objects that you can identify when looking north. I know today is cloudy, actually, it's not a good idea, probably, but tomorrow night, hopefully, it's going to be clear. Is this would look like a W right now during daytime? You cannot see anything anyway, but that is actually Cassiopeia. Okay, so this is some of the objects that you see. Last time when we were here on Tuesday for the other class, of course, we were at night. So we didn't look at the north because actually we had a lot of light pollution and we have so many buildings. But we looked at the south, and the south actually was beautiful. Let me go back into the southern skies, okay? So we're going to go back into the south and identify objects in there. So let me go back into the time of the class. I'm going to stop the time. I'm going to go to around 8 p.m., which is 20. Okay. That is, okay, let me fix the time completely. I don't want it to change. So this is the nice thing. And actually, let me go back to today. It's tonight. Okay. So this is looking south. Okay. And if I can zoom out, can I zoom out? Zoom back out. Okay. Looking roughly to the south, I'm trying to find some of the objects in the sky. Okay. This is what we looked at. Okay. Southeast. Okay. South toward Riverside. Actually, south is a little bit away from Riverside, southeast. Okay. You will see the three stars that line up. Those are part of the belt of Orion. And those are Nilam and Mintaqa and so many other stars, and the three stars basically. If you extend these three lines, you're going to see a super bright star. It's going to be barely above the horizon. I mean, hopefully you're going to be away from those hills that are near Loma Linda. But if you are away from them, you should be able to see Sirius beautifully, okay? And then on the shoulder of Orion, you will see a yellow star. That's Betelgeuse, okay? Betelgeuse, and if you extend that, you will see another bright star on the other side. That's Procyon. Procyon, which is Canis Minor, and Canis Major is Ceres. These are the two dogs of Orion the Hunter. And the three stars form what is known as the winter asterism. So we are in the winter. This is a beautiful thing that hopefully you guys don't miss. I know tonight probably is going to be cloudy, but tomorrow or the day after, you should be able to go and enjoy the sky for yourselves. You don't need telescopes. You don't need anything. This is just something that you can see on your own. Let me remove these lines in here to show you how it looks like without them. Okay. So, and let me remove this thing in here also. And let me also remove the names of the objects in here. Okay, what is the names of the stars? What is the, anyway, I think I removed most of everything in here. So this is how the sky would look like for you when you look at it. The problem is in the next few days, you have this thing in here that's gonna ruin your view, okay? Wait for it another week when this thing goes. That is the moon. The moon is super bright and it's going to really ruin your view. But it's not going to block completely Betelgeuse or Ceres or Procyon. I know one of you was actually talking about in the when I was grading this assignment in the about Jupiter going out with his family and basically pointing out Jupiter. Jupiter, you're right. It's going to be right in the middle of the sky. So it's a super bright star. Obviously, it's a planet. So you were right all along. I mean, it's a really beautiful sight, and it's not too far from the moon in the next week or so. But that's basically where Jupiter, it's super high in the sky, so you cannot miss it. It's the brightest object in the sky. Obviously, Ceres is the brightest star, but it's a star. This one is a planet, okay? If you look at this software in here, one of the information that you get, and we're going to get that part of the lecture, by the way, at some point, is the magnitude, okay? The absolute magnitude, and actually the actual magnitude, how bright the object is. The lower this number, the brighter it is. Look at the moon, for example, it should have lower numbers than this ones. The moon is -12, so it's super bright compared to Jupiter, which is only sitting at -2.4. Okay, Ceres though, which is a star, is going to be bright, but it's not going to be as bright as Jupiter, because again, it's a very far away star compared to Jupiter. Jupiter is close by. Ceres, by the way, is a very, very big star. Anyway, another star that you should not be able to miss, and that is also a blue star. When it's just in this vicinity, it's Rigel. It's part of the leg of Orion. Actually, Rigel is the Arabic word for the leg. And also another star that is actually a little bit dim, but it's on the other side, called Seip, which is really also the Arabic word for sword. Although this is the sword of Orion, which is a nebula in this case in here, that if we zoom on it, okay, how do we zoom in here? I forgot the shortcuts for it. Move the page up. Yeah. This is Orion's basically sword in here that people refer to it, okay? There is a nebula in here, in this area in here also, where the horseshoe basically nebula is located. So there are so many objects in here that you can see, and you really don't need binoculars or anything. Although binoculars will make this one a very good object, good stuff to see. If you extend this three stars, which is Orion's belt, and you keep on looking straight up, you're going to see Aldebaran, which is part of the eye of the bull. This is basically, if you look at Orion, this is his belt, this is his legs in the bottom, this is his shoulder, this is Bellatrix, part of the extent of his arm, this is his shield, and he's hunting for this bull in here. This is Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. So again, this is stuff that you can see tonight and you can enjoy. You don't really need anything else to do these things. If you look in this area in here, if you continue in that extent, you're going to see the Pleiades, okay, which are part of the Taurus constellation. And again, if you're sitting in Astronomy 125, the lab version, we're going to dedicate a whole lab just on the Pleiades. And this is part of the stuff that you can enjoy tonight. You don't really need anything else. Obviously, this software is called Stellarium, by the way, and it's a free software. You can download it in your computer. I think you have to pay something like $5 or something for it if you do it on your phone, but the phone version is limited. There is a desktop version, there is a Windows version, there is a Linux version, and there's also a Mac version, so you can install all of them for free, and they work beautifully, with the exception that on if you're going to do a phone version, it's really the web version of this software. So I thought I should introduce to you guys this tool because it's going to be helpful, at least for one project that is related in this class, that if you opt to do that project instead, you're going to be using Stellarium. And in the case of Stellarium, you're going to be looking at another star, actually. Okay, you're going to be locating it, and you look at the star exists on the ecliptic, okay, which I just clicked on to get it going. And that is the apparent path of the sun, of course, okay? Obviously, the Earth is the one that is moving in that direction, not and the planets, like, for example, Jupiter, okay? So this is just an introduction to this class, an introduction to this software, okay, and stuff, okay, related to this class and what is expected and in terms of projects and so on and so forth. If you feel like at some point that there's some more information that you probably can handle at the time, please let me know so that we can break it down and make sure that it's in manageable chunks. And again, don't let it by. Don't, let's say, for example, okay, if after a week or two, maybe things become clearer. No, please do send me messages, do ask questions, and so on and so forth. Okay, don't let it accumulate. Furthermore, make sure that you are actually working on a regular basis. I know this is an online class, and sometimes we get into the habit of delaying work, and that is a detriment. That is actually a bad place to be in. Make sure you have a schedule. Make sure you're working off of a schedule. You have that schedule and you stick to it. Dedicate at least the normal amount of time that you will dedicate as if you're going to a class. A class, normal class, will have an hour and a half of lecture twice a week. So you're looking at 3 hours. In addition to that, you have 3 hours of at-home work. So you're looking at about 6 hours minimum, basically, to spend on a regular class. This is the amount of time I expect you also to spend on this class, minimum. Maximum, you can go to 8 hours probably if you want to, or 9 hours, depending. But 6 hours is the absolute minimum. This is still a class, so you're not taking a 15-minute class a week. But this is still a regular class. Dedicate the time for you to go through the materials, the content. Dedicate also the time to do the additional assignments associated with it. And you should progress with absolutely no problem, no hindrance whatsoever. You have enough materials to be able to cruise through it, except when it comes to sometimes homework assignments. I know some of you come with different backgrounds when it comes to doing calculations, and some of you may think that this is actually too much. Please do not spend too much time on those things. If you find yourself spending a lot of time doing calculations, reach out. The first time, the second time, the third time you can't solve it, you don't understand how to go about going with it, don't spend more than 10, 15 minutes on those homework assignments. If you find yourself spending 12 minutes, 13 minutes, that's the time to stop it. I'm going to send a message, okay? Problem number 2, or problem number 3, or problem number 1, or all of them. Can we sit down and please give me some insights on how we're going to handle that, okay? I have done this class online for now several semesters. You should have enough actually resources on the YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, and you can just go to YouTube and put my name, DJ Bouzidi, and you should be able to have it there. The only warning I have to tell you up front is I have a lot of content in there. It may be too much to try to find where things are. So look for the titles. It's going to say Astronomy 120. If you find anything other than Astronomy 120, most likely it's not a class. So you don't have to spend 10, 15 minutes sitting on a session and realize that that's not for me. He's talking about something else. That's not for my class, okay? So whether homework assignments, usually the title will tell you or the description will tell you which homework it is. So most likely there is already a video or 2 or 3 on the same topic that you're asking for that I have discussed in the past. So please go through them and make sure that you have that. If not, again, reach out, make sure you're proactive, you're not delaying your work, reach out and let's make sure that it happens. You have already enough time for the office hours. If none of them work for you, there's no problem. We can find a way. We can find the room sometime, somewhere, or an online session somewhere. We're going to have it so that we can sit down and work out the details. There is something I have to tell you though. If your question, for example, deserves to be shared, let's say, for example, there is a piece where actually I think other people will benefit from that discussion. I will ask your permission then and there, if we're doing an online session, to record. Obviously, at that point, anything that is private is going to be removed. You're not going to be saying specifically, oh, because this and that, or I had another class or something else. So anything related to you is not going to be included, but the thing that is going to be beneficial to everybody else will be included, hopefully, so that other people are going to benefit from that. The reason why I'm saying that is, if you ask questions, if something is not clear for you, most likely it's the same situation for probably many other people, and they will benefit from it. And they will be actually very grateful to you that you brought up that issue. So that's part of the process that I do in here. Any questions? No?
I do have a question.
Yes, Crystal.
Oh, it's Jeanette.
Or is this Crystal or Jeanette? I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
Sorry, Jeanette. I was looking at the chat while you were talking.
Yeah, no worries. Do you or will you offer any extra credit at all?
Usually you have assignments that you have to turn them in, and usually there is enough time to turn them in. And now, if you don't turn in an assignment, or the assignment is an incomplete in a sense that it did not meet the standards and how it's supposed to be graded, what I do in this case, I offer an item will be dropped from any category. One or more items will be dropped from many of these categories, with the exception, of course, of a project where one of them was going to be graded. So you're going to submit 3 projects. You're going to tell me grade project 1 or 2 or 3, okay? Everything else, like for example, the discussion sessions, you will have 2 of them actually that's going to be dropped. So this is part of an incentive for you. I mean, not an incentive, I should say, probably part of a backup plan, fall to backup plan, just in case of something, for example, becomes overwhelming. You have a family issue and you cannot submit it, or you cannot do it, or you have to be somewhere and you cannot do it. You're caught up, and then the thing was graded and you cannot. There is no way you're going to be able to do the thing with it. So you have that in your mind, that you have something that is going to be dropped. Other than that, honestly, all of the assignments are required. So, and they have due dates, and hopefully everything will work out the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. No problem. Anyone else? Okay. Well, it was planned to be an hour. It's almost an hour, unless you guys have any other questions. I'm going to end it. Please watch the messages. We're going to have another session maybe in about 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks. And we definitely will have, at least before our first midterm, we're going to have a session. We're going to have another session related to the project. So we're going to have sessions. So you're going to watch the recordings, and like today's session, you're going to receive the link for it. This is not the same link it's going to be, so please don't sign in for this one. So watch for the messages on Canvas, and please take care of your assignments. Ran, if you still have that question, that problem, please reach out to me, and I will see you guys and talk to you soon. Thank you, guys. Bye. I'm gonna end the recording now.